Hey everyone, my name is Michael Vaughn, and today we have a really awesome guest, Bret Wood, and he's going to be talking about Kino Cult streaming service, which I have to say I'm a huge fan of. And hey, I really appreciate you taking the time to join me and talking about it. So, how did this streaming service come about?
It was a partnership between Giant, which is a digital company that does a lot of AVOD, which is advertising video on demand services. And we had just had conversations about what would be a streaming service that might be able to sort of tap into a bigger audience and get outside the sort of art house niche that Kino Lorber is in. And so cult movies was sort of the obvious answer. We had just recently acquired the Artsploitation Films collection. So we have this big bank of contemporary horror films. And through our partnership with Redemption Films and other licensors, we have great Euro cult films, Mario Bava, Jess Franco, Jean Rollin. So looking through our list of films, we had hundreds of films that one would easily define as cult, and that, movie lovers would love to get, because you can't possibly collect, although looking behind you, I should not be so quick to say that you can't possibly collect every movie you want, because there's always that like, well, I love Jean Rollin, but I can't buy everything, Well, you know what? You can just come to Kino Cult and watch it there. And it's also a great way to sort of expand your tastes. Like if there's a certain director or kind of film you are curious about, but don't want to start shelling out 20, $30, you can test drive it. See some of these films we have. Everything's in high definition. And, test drive the film before you invest in owning a copy. So we're trying to make it like, for the serious film collector or for the casual viewer, something for everyone.
Yeah,
As long as they have kind of work taste, that's part of the.
No, that's great, because as you can maybe noticed, I do love physical media, but it's like you said, it's, you don't always have that kind of like, I mean, I certainly don't have like all the money in the world to like buy all these films, but what's so great about Kino Cult is, I can check these out. And I was, I've been like scrolling through everything, and I have to say, like, it's such an impressive lineup. Like, I noticed that like some of my all-time favorites are on there, and like some that are a little more obscure, like Wake and Fright, Miss 45, stuff like that. Do you have some personal favorites that you have on there?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I programmed this, or I'm the curator. I want to give a shout out to Dylan Thomas, who's our programmer for the Fast channel, and we'll talk about that a little bit in a minute. But I just wanted to make this the TV station that 15-year-old me would have loved to have had. Just like all these movies at my fingertips. And so, everything from, pretty explicit Euro horror to one of my personal favorites, exploitation films of the 1930s and 40s. There's a few silent films. There are some documentaries. We try to, make it not just about sort of 15-year-old Bret. We try to make, get films for every kind of eclectic film taste. So, that's why it's good that it's called Kino Cult and not Kino Horror, because it's not just horror. There's comedy, there's all sorts of wackiness. There's erotica, there's short films. So, and the exciting thing is that it's going to, every month it gets bigger and bigger.
Yeah. Like I said, it's so kind of as you put it so perfectly, which is it's very eclectic. Like I'm just kind of looking at some of these titles, and I have to say that it's extremely well organized. Like that's something that I really love. Again, you have like certain moods that you're in. Like, you know, you have like a whole golden age of exploitation, which has all the, you know, great, like, um, as you said, like the 30s and 40s sort of exploitation films.
The drug scare films like Reefer Madness and the sex hygiene films like Mom and Dad.
Oh yeah, I mean, and it's great. Like you have the 70s and 80s like flashback thing here that, I mean, I'm just checking out, like all of these are awesome, and the ones that I haven't seen I'm gonna binge watch like right away.
Don't look at the screen. You're gonna get sucked in, and you're gonna like
Right. You're like, hey, what's going on?
You're gonna go to a happy place. But the one thing that I encourage everyone to check out is we just a couple of months ago started the Fast channel, which means that there's always something playing. So it's a continuous 24-hour programmed channel, so that even if you don't know what you want to watch, just stop by Kino Cult and that'll be the first thing that comes up, and it'll just play whatever's on the air at that time.
Oh, nice.
And so that's how you can stumble into things that you might ordinarily not be interested in, but it's fun to give something 5 minutes and discover something new. And then if you find that you liked it, you have a whole major wormhole you can just like disappear down, because anything you see on the Fast channel is available to watch on the, you know, VO. It's sort of the AVOD app where you select the movie you want to play. So if you come in mid-movie, fine. Just pick the movie out of the menu and you can watch it from the beginning. So it's
Nice.
it's a win-win.
Yeah, that I love that concept, because yeah, it's like you said, sometimes like I am so indecisive, and like as you can see I have nothing to pick from. So you know, I am somebody that like I will literally take an hour to like figure out like what I'm kind of in the mood for. So I love stuff like that, because you know, there's a lot of times when you know, maybe at face value this might not seem like a movie I'd be interested in, but like I just get adventurous, dive right in, and end up really liking it. So yeah, I love that. And I was checking out some of the stuff you just added, and like your March titles, like Miami Connection, you know, The Visitor, and Wake and Fright, as I mentioned, Miss 45. I mean, those are all really amazing titles. And it's so funny because I remember like when those used to be really hard films to find. And now that, you know, you can watch them pretty much literally anytime you want, as you say, at your fingertips. That's really incredible. Like,
there's a couple of things I want to say about that. First is that Wake and Fright is one of those movies that everyone needs to see. And once you see it, you never forget it. But it's one of those things that's hard to convince someone to watch it. Like, what's it about? I don't want to tell you. You just need to watch it. And then, you know, so, you know, there's a lot of films like that on here where it seems like, I don't know, it doesn't seem interesting to me, but there are so many movies that you once seen are never forgotten. And that's one of them. Oh, it's just indescribable. And so the March titles were presented in cooperation with Draft House Films. And this is the first month in which we've done that. And we're going to be continuing to expand that partnership in the months ahead. And there are other companies with whom we're in talks now to bring in portions of their library. So right now, but very soon it's going to be lots of other companies as well, companies with like, you know, cult movie bona fides like that. So I'm very excited about it, as you can probably tell. And you know, you talk about how hard it was to get some of these movies at one time. And that's why we collect physical media, is because it's not guaranteed to be around forever. And hopefully, and, you know, just understand that Kino Cult is not going to be around forever. Films rotate, things come in and out of license. Some things I hope will always be on the channel, but, you know, don't take it for granted. Enjoy it while it's here, because who knows how long this ride's going to last, because we have stuff that's going to be on, major platforms that is pretty shocking. We like the same kinds of movies, and this is not the kind of stuff that you see on, I guess, some of the more mainstream AVOD services. So there may come a time when we have to dial it back a little bit, but right now my foot is on the accelerator.
Nice.
And I'm not dialing back, and we're, putting all the films, just right now I'm just being guided by taste and a perverse sense of what makes a really cool movie.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, so you curate the titles. Now, do you ever do like guest curators, or is that something that you're ever interested in, or like?
We're going to do it. And in fact, probably in the fall, there's going to be a big growth spurt for Kino Cult. That's when we're hoping to get on a couple of the major AVOD platforms, which will really expand our audience. So we're holding back a little bit in terms of original programming for Kino Cult. But at that time, there will begin to be interviews with what we call our cult leaders, different filmmakers, critics, historians, actors, who sort of help define what a cult movie is. And so in addition to an interview talking about their work and the work that they love, we will have a playlist by that person recommending things from the Kino Cult library. So that's in the coming soon category. But I will talk about something that I know you know a little bit about, that we are breaking back into theaters. And later this month, this is March 2022, we're giving a theatrical re-release to Brian Trenchard Smith's Stunt Rock.
Nice.
And if you haven't seen Stunt Rock,
yes,
it's one of those that you cannot describe it. You just have to experience it. And so that's going to be playing in more than 30 cities, a couple of nights, not week-long runs, but special screenings. And we're hoping to continue those in the months ahead. You can look at the Kino Lorber website under theatrical, and I think you can, or just search for Stunt Rock, and you can find the cities that it's playing in, and you can see if it's in a city near you.
Yeah, and we'll link to all that information in the description so y'all can check that out, because that would be incredible on the big screen. So I knock on wood, maybe it's coming close to me, so I'll definitely have to check that out. So I heard you have some really awesome titles coming up in April, and some of those are like Home Before Midnight or Killer's Moon, which the latter is it's certainly one of those movies. It's definitely hard to forget once you've seen it. So yeah, gosh, it's really exciting. And like I said, I will make sure that I'll link everything for y'all to check out in the description. Is there any kind of final info for everybody on anything related to Kino Cult or anything coming up?
Yeah, I can probably think of a couple of things. You can find Kino Cult on pretty much every streaming device, including your phone, your laptop, your pad. KinoCult.com will immediately just pull it up on your browser. It's on smart TVs. Every month, new models of smart TVs get added, so you should be able to find it pretty much everywhere. If you are bothered by the commercial interruptions, for $4.99 a month, you can turn those off and basically have all the movies with no commercials. So we're not, technically, that's not a subscription service. It's still a free AVOD service, but that's a way that if you object to the commercials, you can get around that. And, later in the year, we're going to have merch. We're going to have T-shirts and things. We are talking about bringing 3D to Kino Cult and figuring out the best way to do that. It'll probably be the anaglyph red and blue glasses, but we've already printed the glasses, so that's on the horizon. We've just got to figure out how to get them in people's hands. So we're trying to treat this less like a streaming service where you just have hundreds of movies, but just kind of a cool place to hang out. We've shot our interstitial material. We have these little branding, like station identification pieces. We've commissioned original music so that everything has this kind of cool vibe. And even if you're between movies, you still get the flavor of Kino Cult. And so by all means, come and hang out, and you can sign up for the mailing list, and that way you'll be kept informed of every month's new titles, any new promotions we're doing, any new giveaways. We're going to be doing a giveaway here pretty soon. What we're giving away, don't know yet. It will not be a car, but it'll probably involve some Blu-rays and T-shirts and stuff like that. So, sign up to stay updated, and what else can I say except visit often?
Yeah, that sounds awesome. That is so cool. And I love how, it clearly is more than just, you put a bunch of movies up on your platform. As you say, it's very unique to Kino Cult. It has, as you say, kind of its own really cool vibe. And yeah, that's really awesome. And I definitely urge everybody to check it out because I am just floored by the titles. And again, I love just how well organized everything is. Like somebody like OCD, I love it. So yeah, that's again, thank you so much for stopping by and talking about this really awesome streaming platform. I've been firmly a fan since y'all started. So, I just want to let everybody know that you need to check it out. What are you waiting for?
Thank you for continuing to spread the word, spreading the gospel of Kino Lorber and Kino Cult and Kino Classics and Kino Lorber Studio Classics. I mean, Mike, you've been a longtime friend of the company, and I'm just, it's people like you who are excited about the films that we release, that we feed off that enthusiasm. And, sometimes you feel like you're just throwing movies out into a void, but when we throw movies out there and people are like, this is awesome, we're going to explore this, that just lets us know that we're doing the right thing, and it encourages us to go more in that direction. So I appreciate your feedback and encouragement, and, your viewers and listeners as well.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I've been such a huge fan of Kino as a label for a long time. So it's so cool that y'all are really catering to, cult films, again, not just horror, but of all sort of genres, which I love because, I love horror, but, I love all kinds of films. So that's really fantastic. Again, I will link all that information in the descriptions, but certainly check it out. And thank you so much again for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
All right.
Talk to you soon.